Kill your weak version. Most men think their enemy is outside. Competition, the economy, bad luck, the system. No, your enemy wakes up in the same bed you do. He lives inside your own body, and he is comfortable. Version of you loves comfort. He loves easy dopamine. He loves distraction. He loves fantasy. He will scroll for hours. He will chase validation. He will waste his sexual energy on pixels and temporary pleasure. Then he will sit there wondering why his life feels smaller than it should. You say you want money. You say you want influence. You say you want to walk into a room and be taken seriously. But the man who wastes his energy cannot command anything. Look at the pattern. A man leaks his focus all day. He leaks his discipline. He leaks his sexual energy. Then he wonders why his presence feels weak, why his attention collapses, why his drive disappears. You want the brutal truth? Weak men are not born. They are indulged into existence. Every time you choose comfort over control, the weak version of you gets stronger. Every time you escape pressure with distraction, the weak version of you grows. Every time you release the very energy that should be fueling your ambition, you dilute yourself. You are not tired. You are drained. You are drained because you keep feeding the weakest part of your nature. The strongest men in history understood something most modern men forgot. Energy is currency. Attention is currency. Discipline is currency. The man who controls those three things becomes dangerous. The man who leaks those three things becomes average. And average men do not change their lives. They explain them. Your weak version loves explanations. It loves saying things like, I just need motivation. I'll start next week. I'm not in the right headspace. The strong version of you does not negotiate. It executes. It wakes up when it said it would wake up. It works when it said it would work. It keeps its word to itself. And that is where real confidence comes from. Not hype, not affirmations. From self-command. You become powerful when your mind knows something simple. When you decide something, it happens. No negotiation, no escape, no compromise with weakness. Right now, there are two versions of you fighting for control. One version wants pleasure, the other wants power. One version wants comfort, the other wants command. And every decision you make feeds one of them. So understand something clearly. The weak version of you will not disappear politely. It must be starved. Starve it of distraction. Starve it of indulgence. Starve it of easy pleasure. And watch what happens. The strong version of you begins to wake up. Now let's go deeper. Because most men misunderstand what's actually happening to them. They think they have a motivation problem. They don't. They have an energy management problem. Every ambitious man is born with a certain level of fire, drive, aggression, sexual energy, the urge to conquer something. That fire is supposed to be directed into building wealth, directed into mastering a craft, directed into becoming someone people respect when you walk into a room. But the modern world gives you a different option, an easier one. Instead of directing that fire, it invites you to discharge it. Instant pleasure, endless novelty, unlimited stimulation. And the moment you take that option, something subtle happens. Your edge disappears. You wake up slightly less driven. Your focus becomes fragmented. Your ambition becomes inconsistent. You can still function. You can still work. You can still tell people you are trying. But the sharpness is gone. The intensity that builds empires has been diluted. Look at the men who dominate industries. Look at the men who command rooms. Look at the men who move markets, build companies, shape culture. Do you think they are casual with their energy? Do you think they are careless with their attention? No. Those men guard their energy like a weapon. They know something that most people never realize. Sexual energy is not just about sex. It is raw drive. It is aggression. It is creative force. When that energy is disciplined, it becomes focus. When it becomes focus, it becomes output. When it becomes output, it becomes leverage. And leverage is what turns effort into money. But when that same energy is constantly released through indulgence, something else happens. The urgency disappears. The hunger disappears. The obsession disappears. And hunger is the engine of greatness. A satisfied man does not build. A hungry man does. This is why you see men with enormous potential slowly fade into comfortable mediocrity. Not because they lack intelligence. Not because they lack opportunity. Because they lack restraint. They leak the very fuel that was supposed to power their rise. Weak men chase pleasure. Strong men weaponize energy. Weak men ask how to feel good. Strong men ask how to become powerful. And the difference between those two mindsets compounds over time. One man becomes sharper every year. The other becomes softer every year. One man walks into a room and people feel his presence. The other blends into the background, and the only real difference between them is control. Control over impulses, control over attention, control over energy. If you can control those three things, you can dominate almost any field. But if those three things control you, then your potential will remain exactly that, potential. History leaves clues for men who are willing to see them. Look at Alexander the Great. By the age of 30, he had conquered most of the known world. Entire empires fell before him. Cities opened their gates the moment his army appeared on the horizon. People like to say he was a military genius, but genius alone does not conquer continents. Alexander had something more dangerous, relentless discipline. His soldiers wrote about it. They said the king slept on the ground beside them. He marched the same miles they marched. He endured the same cold, the same hunger, the same exhaustion. He demanded greatness from his men because he demanded it from himself first. That is the difference between a man who leads and a man who complains. Leadership begins with self-command. The Romans understood this as well. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire on earth. He commanded armies, governed millions of people, and faced constant threats to his power. Yet when you read his private writings, you see something interesting. He did not spend his time blaming enemies. He spent his time mastering himself. He wrote reminders to himself every day. Control your thoughts. Control your impulses. Do the work in front of you. Do not be ruled by pleasure. Imagine that. The most powerful man in the world still believed his greatest battle was internal because he understood something timeless. A man who cannot control his desires becomes predictable, and predictable men are easily defeated. Now, compare that to the modern world. Today, men are surrounded by comfort, unlimited entertainment, unlimited stimulation, unlimited escape from discomfort. And slowly, quietly, that comfort removes the very thing that made great men dangerous: endurance, the ability to sit with difficulty and not run, the ability to focus when the work becomes boring, the ability to continue when the reward is far away. Great civilizations were not built by comfortable men. They were built by disciplined ones, men who could control their impulses, men who could hold their attention, men who could direct their energy towards something larger than themselves. Every era produces two kinds of men. One group chases pleasure, the other group chases power. One group consumes what the world offers, the other group builds what the world has never seen before. The difference between them is not intelligence, it is restraint, it is control. It is the ability to say no to the weak voice inside your own mind. Because the greatest victory a man will ever achieve is not over another person, it is over himself. And once that victory is won, everything else becomes possible.